Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. Federal Bureau of Investigation identifies shooter who made assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania. Motive behind attack still being probed. Messages of support pour in from world leaders, including India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi after Trump's assassination attempt. Global leaders wish Trump a speedy recovery. Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz to face each other in mega encounter of Wimbledon 2024 men's singles final. A rematch made in tennis heaven. Spain and England meet in the final of the European Championship tonight in Berlin. Spain eye record fourth title. England look to end 58-year wait. Republican presidential candidate and former US President Donald Trump gestures with a bloodied face as multiple shots rang out during campaign rally at the Butler Farm Show in Butler, Pennsylvania. According to the Secret Service statement, the shooter was dead, one rally attendee was killed and two other spectators were injured. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has called the shooting an attempted assassination. The FBI has identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks as the subject involved in the incident. The agency has deployed investigative agents, evidence response teams and other personnel from across the country for further investigation.
This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene. We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well.
The FBI says that motive behind the shooting is not clear and is being probed.
Stands with the people of Butler County in western Pennsylvania. The FBI has deployed a number of our resources. We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done.
Issuing a statement on Truth Social, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong. In that, I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America." After the shootout at former US President Donald Trump, his campaign has issued a joint statement stating that the leader is doing well and that he looks forward to further campaigning. They clarified that Trump looks forward to the 4-day convention in Wisconsin's Milwaukee to nominate him to serve as the 47th President of the United States. All right, and joining me on the broadcast is Ambassador and Senior Diplomat, Mr. Manjeev Puri. Sir, first of all, thank you so much for joining in on this broadcast. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. This is an unfortunate incident, but not the first time happening in the United States. There have been attacks on presidents and candidates earlier. What does it say from the security perspective now? More security required? and more pressure on Secret Service now in a country which invests trillions of dollars in intelligence and defense?
That's absolutely. And you know, the very first set of reports after the reportage of the incident are about probe the Secret Service, probe the law enforcement, were there any deficiencies, and so on and so forth. And rightly so. These are the questions that get asked. But you know, you just mentioned something very interesting, that these things have happened in the past in the United States, including presidents themselves being targeted and in fact falling victim. I don't know what to say, but let me leave with you one thought. In the United States, it's relatively easier to obtain a firearm. Now, this has been a long-standing issue in the United States. There is a constitutional amendment on the right to bear arms, the very powerful National Rifle Association lobby, and it's a very hot potato political subject, with President Trump actually being a great supporter of all this. Now, I don't know what to say, but you know, this is an incident which is absolutely unacceptable, abhorrent, and I am glad worldwide leaders, including the Honorable Prime Minister, have condemned it and have said that it has no place in democracy.
Sir, US elections are in November now. After what happened today, how do you analyze the campaigning structure going ahead? Also, what this incident means for the candidates on campaign trail?
So, Siddharth, there should be no doubt that security measures will be strongly tightened. In the United States, there are, of course, very strong security measures taken. After all, the Secret Service is well aware of attempts on both presidents as well as presidential candidates and their protectees. However, their general methodology are one in which a great deal of letting people come close by, etc., is allowed, of course, with proper access control. I would imagine from now onwards, both for the president as well as the challenger, President Trump, the likely nominee of the Republican Party, would be hugely strengthened, which means distance with their supporters would be much more. There would be much more peripheral security, and access control would be of a much higher level. Having said this, I think your question was about what does it mean for the election. Look, such an incident, quite apart from moving who are already your supporters, to other people also, there is an element which tends to rally people against somebody who is a victim of this kind of an act. Now, therefore, these are factors that we need to remember. How it will play out in a relatively more mature democracy in the United States, how people will react, we'll have to see. But, you know, otherwise speaking, one would say that unfortunate incident, but President Trump has escaped unhurt, not unhurt, but, you know, not with very, very serious injuries. And this would tend to bring about a certain amount of sympathy in terms of his cause and people looking at him. Of course, it hugely rallies his support base of Make America Great Again. And you could see that in his own, you know, even in that injured situation, raising his fist and sort of pointing himself out, his resolute decision and desire to, you know, stand for this Make America Great Again section of the population.
Definitely. But, sir, this assassination attempt raises so many questions on various perspectives, including security is one. Do you think that open-air campaigning will be put to halt for some time?
I am not sure about that because, you know, these are decisions which get taken locally. As you yourself mentioned, assassination events have happened in the past. Of course, this is all a matter that those people will look at. But, you know, what exactly does an open-air event mean? In India, we have rallies. They are all in the open air. 100,000, 200,000 people come. But our security agencies make the necessary arrangements. In the United States, too.
You're right.
You know, for president, I'm sure. A presidential candidate, although an ex-president also, with Secret Service protection. You know, I don't want to comment on what their level of security would be. One is not familiar with that.
Let's not go there.
They will be stepped up. They will be stepped up quickly. What restrictions follow, we don't know.
Okay. Sir, motive behind the attack is still being probed. However, the alleged shooter has been identified by the FBI. When I talk about the gun laws in the United States, well, that's a very important issue. How do you analyze them? And despite so many debates over the years, nothing concrete has come out of them. Why?
Well, because there's a huge and strong lobby. And as I mentioned to you, President Trump was perhaps in the forefront of that lobby. Now, you know, this is the nature of that society and that country. So we tend to focus ourselves on New York City, a bit of Washington, California, which are really, huge parts of the United States. But let me say, places which are much more global in terms of their thinking. Large parts of the United States are insular. There are parts of the United States where, issues such as bearing arms, the right to bear arms is considered very sacrosanct. These kind of policies and politics is extremely important. And, the National Rifle Association is arguably one of the most important lobbying group in the United States of America. And they've been eminently successful. Look at the kind of shooting incidents. School children shot in their school. One after the other shooting incidents take place. It's a every few months occurrence there. And yet we are really not able to tighten any of the laws. And as I mentioned to you, the huge group, which is that large section of the population, sort of steadfast President Trump supporters, they are all those who are fervently in favor of the right to bear arms.
Okay. What happened in United States is appalling, and world leaders who expressed deep concern and grief, including India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has one thing to say in common. Violence has no place in politics and democracies. How do you react to it?
Well, that's absolutely true. And I think none of us would disagree with that. Nobody, even those who say we have the right to bear arms, will disagree with it. But Siddharth, on a slightly different subject, if I may point out, unfortunately, it's democracies and democratic values and democratic spaces which even allow violence to have a little bit of squeaky space in all of that. In complete dictatorships, have you really heard? We've heard very few cases in terms of political assassinations and so on, because every element of life stands controlled. Now this is very unfortunate. It cannot be like that. Democracy literally means no place for violence. You come onto the ballot box. But because democracy is an open space, extremism also has a certain element of, let me say, space which they exploit.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. Much appreciate.
Thank you.
Leaders from multiple nations expressed shock at the incident, denounced political violence and wished Trump a quick recovery. A spokesperson for United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the shooting and called it an act of political violence. US Vice President Kamala Harris took to X and condemned the shooting at Donald Trump. She posted that violence such as this has no place in our nation. We must all condemn this abhorrent act and do our part to ensure that it does not lead to more violence. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken posted, "I'm shocked and saddened by the shooting at former President Trump's rally and grateful that he is safe. As POTUS said, there is no place for political violence in America and we must all condemn it." While former US President Barack Obama posted that there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy, although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Newly elected UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the incident on X. He said, and I quote, "I'm appalled by the shocking scenes at President Trump's rally and we send him and his family our best wishes. Political violence in any form has no place in our societies and my thoughts are with all the victims of this attack." Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed deep concern and grief following the incident at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. In a heartfelt statement on social media platform X, Prime Minister Modi conveyed his support and well wishes for Trump's recovery. On X, PM Modi said, and I quote, "Deeply concerned by the attack on my friend, former President Donald Trump, strongly condemn the incident. Violence has no place in politics and democracies. wish him speedy recovery. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of deceased, those injured and American people." Unquote. The shootout at Donald Trump at a rally has raised many questions on security. As a former president and Republican presidential candidate, Trump is protected primarily by the Secret Service. In the moments after Trump was injured, he was quickly surrounded by Secret Service personnel who formed a human shield and whisked him away. Veteran of the Secret Service says the agency aims to look at the incident with a fine-tooth comb.
You're going to see an after action take place here to look at exactly what happened here, what did the venue or the physicality of the venue play in this situation, and what could have been done, if anything, to have negated this issue. There may not be anything that could have been done, and this person was able to perform this nefarious activity without being detected by the Secret Service for some reason. Don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you the Secret Service, the FBI, and those local, state, and federal partners are going to be looking at this with a fine-tooth comb and being able to send out a message to all the details now to make sure that whatever happened here, there are no copycat situations moving along.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson vowed to conduct a full investigation of the shooting. Posting on X, he said, "The American people deserve to know the truth. We will have Secret Service Director Kimberly Seattle and other appropriate officials from Department of Homeland Security and the FBI will appear for a hearing before our committees ASAP." He wrote, "The shooting is being investigated as a possible assassination attempt, according to law enforcement officials." The House Oversight Committee invites the U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Seattle to testify on July 22nd following the shooting incident at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. This request underscores the committee's intent to thoroughly investigate the circumstances surrounding the event and to understand the security measures that were in place at the time. The testimony of the Secret Service Director is expected to provide critical insights into how the security breach occurred and what steps are to be taken to prevent similar incidents in the future. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it was still not clear whether Hamas military chief and other senior commander were killed in an Israeli strike. The Russia-China Joint Sea 2024 military exercise officially started. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. The US Republican Party is holding its national convention from July 15, an event where Donald Trump will be formally recognized as their candidate for president and a vice president nominee will be announced. The four-day event is being held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a critical swing state among those likely to decide who will be the next US leader. Caroline Malone reports from Washington, D.C.
All eyes are set to be on Donald Trump again as his bid for a return to the White House dominates the Republican National Convention. As the presumptive presidential candidate for the party, he will be recognized in the position as a formality, given he won the Republican primaries and will deliver a headline speech on Thursday.
President Trump had our border secured, and he'll do it again.
The border, stopping illegal immigration, cutting crime, and dealing with the economy, tackling the high cost of living, and cutting taxes are all top of mind for Republicans. Also on a list of pledges published on the GOP platform a few days ahead of the convention is to prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East, and build a Great Iron Dome missile defence shield over our entire country. A very Make America Great Again or MAGA pledge that many people at the convention and in the wider public will be interested to know more details on. There are also likely to be groups marching outside against Trump, while the who's who of the MAGA movement are inside.
The final thing that goes on there that a lot of people don't know about, which is behind the scenes, so to speak, and that is this is the largest gathering of Republican activists, donors, and movers and shakers. So there is a lot going on, not just what the general public sees, but also within the Republican Party. So it's a very big thing, and it happens once every 4 years. Thanks to COVID, this is the first time we've had a Republican convention in 8 years.
Trump is certainly making the most of the suspense around who he will pick for his running mate as vice president, waiting until the convention to announce it.
And I still think America, by far, by every measure you can imagine, economically, culturally, militarily, remains the world's strongest nation. And
Top contenders include Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who as a Cuban-American may help Trump appeal more to Hispanic voters. Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance,
whether we should continue funding Ukraine indefinitely,
is the youngest option at 39 and a true MAGA loyalist. And Governor of North Dakota, Doug Burgum, who has more executive experience and may appeal to the voters in the Midwest, critically to those in the swing states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and the GOP convention state itself of Wisconsin. Caroline Malone in Washington, reporting for DD India.
All right, in Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his third wife were acquitted on charges of marrying unlawfully by a Pakistan court. Khan will not be freed after authorities issued fresh orders to arrest him. The ruling came a day after his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party won more seats in parliament, ramping up pressure on the country's fragile ruling coalition, which is grappling to stabilize a broken economy. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol vowed to ensure North Korean defectors are not repatriated to the North against their will on Sunday. Speaking at the inaugural ceremony of North Korean Defectors Day, Yoon condemned North Korea's erection of barriers and even mines along border areas to prevent defection.
We will spare no diplomatic effort to ensure North Korean defectors in a foreign country aren't repatriated to the North against their will. South Korea will never forget the suffering of those who lost their life during the escape from North Korea. We will do everything in our power to ensure that our compatriot who has escaped from North Korea can safely be embraced by South Korea.
All right. Britain's new government is gearing up with more than 35 bills for the upcoming parliamentary year, emphasizing economic growth as a central priority. Starmer, who ended 14 years of Conservative rule earlier this month with a sweeping election win for his Labour Party, outlined his government's goals ensuring stability, fostering growth and generating wealth nationwide. As conflict between Israel and Hamas intensifies, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that it was still not clear whether Hamas military chief Mohammad Deif and another senior commander were killed in an Israeli strike in Gaza on Saturday. Netanyahu, in a televised news conference, said that chances of an agreement to return Israeli hostages would be improved by increasing military pressure on Hamas. The Israeli military said the strike had hit a military compound in southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis, but said it could not confirm casualty numbers.
The state of Israel through the Israeli army and the security agencies struck in Gaza, aiming to thwart Mohammad Deif and his deputy Rafah Salma. It is not clear that two have been killed, but either way, we will get to the whole of the leadership of Hamas.
Thousands of Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv on Saturday demanding the release of hostages still held by Hamas. Demonstrators carried pictures of the hostages, chanted slogans and called for an immediate ceasefire and release of those being held captive. Earlier on Saturday, Egyptian media reported that Cairo has called on Israel not to obstruct ongoing Gaza ceasefire negotiations by putting forward new principles that contradict what has been agreed upon. It was further added that Israel is wasting time in formal meetings to lure Israeli public opinion away from reaching a deal. Meanwhile, 4 Israelis were wounded after a rocket barrage was launched from Lebanon into Israel on Saturday. Smoke was seen billowing from fires that broke out in the southern town of Kiryat Shimona following the attack. Hezbollah said it had fired rockets at an army base. Israeli army said that approximately 10 projectiles were identified crossing from Lebanon towards the area of the Kiryat Shimona, some of which were intercepted by Israel's aerial defense array. And back home, in a historic development, the doors of Puri Jagat temple's Ratn Bandar or treasure vaults were opened today after more than 4 decades. As per the SOP, after opening the doors, the process started for taking custody of ornaments and valuables stacked in the Bhandars or secret chamber section-wise to pre-allocated rooms inside the Sanctum Sanctorum. The team entering the temple includes members from RBI and ASI as well. All right, and DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is with us from Puri city in Odisha. Hi Shubhendu, doors of Puri Jagannath Temple's Ratn Bandar, or as we say treasure vaults, were opened today after more than 4 decades. What are you getting for us?
That's right, Siddharth. That's the latest update that is coming in from Puri. Right behind me, you can see the iconic, historic Jagannath temple of Puri. And the treasure vault, the Ratn Bandar, is located inside. The latest that has come in is that the door has been opened. There's a team of around 20 people representing different sections, the Temple Trust, the Archaeological Survey of India, RBI and other groups representing other groups have all entered inside. Now the process has started to put the treasure, move it to a safer location within the temple premises. Remember, one of the concerns was to also repair these chambers of the Ratn Bandar. This is a over 800 years old temple premises, and so is the vault where the treasure has been kept. So the safety of the treasure vault, the safety of the treasure itself is a matter of concern. So as we speak, treasure, Ratna accumulated over centuries is being put together, and an inventory making has started. The first step for the process has started. Siddharth.
Shubhendu, how's the reaction among the devotees there? What are they saying? How excited are they?
Devotees are very excited about it, clearly, Siddharth. After all, this is no ordinary treasure. This is the treasure of the Lord. This is seen as the Lord's gift for the people. Although the details of this treasure, specifics will not be shared with the public, nor will the visuals be made appeal. But the people believe that it was Lord Jagannath's wish that such an inventory be made, and that's why the process has started. So they're very happy with what's going on.
Thank you so much for joining in, Shubhendu. We'll keep taking updates from you on this. As the doors of Puri's Jagannath Temple's Ratn Bandar or the treasure vaults were opened today, DD India's Ajay Mishra spoke with petitioner in Ratn Bandar case, Abhishek Das. Listen in.
The inner treasury of Sri Jagannath Dham is going to be opened today under the supervision of a very high-level committee led by Justice Vishwanath Rath. And the man who took this matter to the court is with me. Mr. Abhishek, what are the reason? Why did you take this matter of inner treasury to the court?
As you know, I have already filed this case near about 8 years in Honorable Odisha High Court. That the fact is that the temple administration and that time government they are not cooperating each other to open Ratn Bandara and clear all the ornaments what has been kept of Lord Jagannath inside that. The whole public, the whole people of Odisha should know what is the real fact inside that Ratn Bandara. How many ornaments are there, and the counting of ornaments, everything should become to the limelight of the people of Odisha.
But do you think that the process which has been followed now for the transparency of the entire process is going really in the right direction?
Exactly. This government has already shown What is how he has made a track, he has made a committee, he has made a SOP. Everything this government has already made. And as you know, today they have already entered inside the Ratn Bandar and they are counting also. And whatever the result will come, you will automatically come to know.
So you must be very happy man today.
Exactly. I have already fighting for 8 years. Now I am completely happy. I am not at all myself. Whole the people of Odisha is completely happy today. And Jagannath Mahaprabhu ki jai.
So clearly you can see that the people out here are really waiting for the details of the inner treasury of Lord Jagannath, and everyone is praying that everything goes fine with this new supervisory committee. With camera person Jagan Mohan, Ajay Mishra for DD India, Sri Jagannath Dham.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. On July 14, 2023, a year ago on this day, India scripted history with ISRO launching Chandrayaan-3 successfully. More details ahead. Robocon 2024 will conclude in New Delhi's Tyagaraja Stadium today. We give you all the latest details of this event.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. A quick recap of the headlines. Federal Bureau of Investigation identifies shooter who made assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania. Motive behind attacks still being probed. Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz to face each other in mega encounter of Wimbledon 2024 men's singles final, a rematch made in tennis heaven. Spain and England meet in final of the European Championship tonight in Berlin. Spain eye record fourth title. England look to end 58-year wait. US President Joe Biden condemned the shooting incident. Addressing the nation after the incident, Biden said that he has an opinion about whether the shooting at former President Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania was an attempted assassination. US President Joe Biden spoke with Donald Trump on Saturday following the shooting at the former president's rally in Pennsylvania, the White House said. Biden also spoke with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and Butler Mayor Bob Dandoy.
I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this.
Update from Himalayan nation Nepal. President Ramchandra Paudel will appoint the new Prime Minister of Nepal today. The process of appointment and swearing in of the Prime Minister will take place after the deadline set by President for the formation of new government comes to an end today at 5 p.m. KP Sharma Oli had submitted his claim with signatures of 165 members of House of Representatives for the post of Prime Minister with the support of Nepali Congress. All right, let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. The Russia-China Joint Sea 2024 military exercise officially is being held at a military port in Zhangjiang city of South China's Guangdong province on Sunday. After ceremony, the two sides will carry out desktop maneuvers and tactical coordination. Later, the Chinese and Russian naval fleets will conduct exercises in the sea and air space. A major cabinet reshuffle took place in the United Arab Emirates. Hamadan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has been appointed as Minister of Defence and Deputy Prime Minister. The announcement came from Dubai's ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum on social media platform X. 5 passengers who were reported missing when 2 buses were swept away by a landslide into the Trishuli River on Friday have been found deceased. Their bodies have been recovered. Additionally, the identities of 3 bodies discovered on Saturday have been confirmed, with 1 individual identified as being from Bihar, India. At least 6 runners were transferred to hospital on the 8th and last running of the Bulls of the week-long Pamplona festival in northern Spain on Sunday. The festival attracts thousands of revelers and thrill-seekers from around the world to enjoy the festive atmosphere. Robocon 2024 will conclude in New Delhi's Tyagaraja Stadium today. The event, organized by IIT Delhi in collaboration with Prasar Bharati, has witnessed a participation of 150 plus students from across the country. DD Robocon is providing an equal opportunity to each and everyone, and especially women. Here, the women, breaking all barriers, are taking a bag full of memories and learning back with themselves. DD India's Deepa Mehta interacted with them to know their story so far at Robocon. Take a listen.
Now, what is more interesting to see at this edition of DD Robocon is the participation of females here, which is in huge number. Right now, we are present here with SRM University that comes from Chennai. I'm really happy to see the kind of female participation we have from here. How excited are you guys to participate and represent your college strength, and especially the women at an international event?
I mean, we are really happy to be here, and it's really good to see that we have so many female participants. I think we are one of the teams with the highest number of female participants, and all the girls in the team are just as involved as the guys. So it's really good to be here.
When we talk about female being in technology, it was not well perceived earlier, and now it's becoming a common norm, which is really, really good for the females also. How do you look at this development and the changing landscape?
Most of it is happening because our friends are also very supportive of us. It's very important for men to be supportive of women as well. So a big thank you to all our guy friends here who have never made us feel that small.
How has your experience been so far participating in this event, and that too at an equal footing?
It was a wonderful experience. I think all of us, it was such a supportive ecosystem, you know, all of us learned and grew together, and we came up with these amazing 2 bots.
These are the women achievers of SRM University from Chennai, and there you heard from them that how excited they are to participate at this, and they are also, you know, seeing their future, the future of women all together across the country at an international level, and they're super proud to present themselves and be a part of DD Robocon. With camera person Anil Thakur, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from New Delhi.
All right, and my colleague Deepa Mehta joins us live from Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi. Hello Deepika. First of all, I want to say, we just saw your report, and I'm extremely happy to say that women are leading everywhere in the world, not just in India. You name the sector and they are there. And I was really happy seeing that report. Coming on to the event, Deepika, how's the atmosphere building up? Today is the concluding day of the event.
Good evening, Siddharth. Right now it is the break time here at New Delhi Tyagaraja Stadium, and after the break we would be witnessing the super finale, which will be taking place between NCOE, which is the Chinchwadi Pimpwad University from Ahmedabad, and they would be vouching it against Nirma University of Pune. So both of the teams have been finalized. One won the semi-finals and they are now into the finals. In a short while from now we will be seeing the final match going into action, and the fan favorite is Nirma University, but NCOE have emerged as a new team to come out at the top podium finish. So let's see, whosoever wins the title will go to Vietnam, and that remains to be seen. But meanwhile, if we talk about the preparations here, because DD Robocon 2024 is being organized by Prasar Bharati in collaboration with IIT Delhi. So this has come out to be a really great event where the students, because we've been talking to the students since yesterday, since the time this event started, and they are they're really, really happy because winning and losing are just a part of the game. But, participating is more important, and they are taking a lot of learning, a lot of experience from here. Siddharth.
Definitely, Deepika. I always say this is a noble collaboration between IIT Delhi and Prasar Bharati. And even I was there for a while at Tyagaraja Stadium. I was interacting with the participants. They say that winning and losing are just, parts of an event. They are learning so much. They are even learning from their own weaknesses, from their opponents' weaknesses. So there is so much to learn. That certainly goes on to show that this is a platform wherein they can show their prowess.
Indeed, Siddharth, and when we talk about learning, they are not only learning leadership qualities, how to coordinate, but life skills that they are taking back from here. And you would be happy to know that this particular Robocon is also favoring the eco-friendly nature, and all the robots which are being made here are eco-friendly. They produce low heat, they are being made out of recycled items, and also they are taking all the items from their previous participants so that there can be a model which is of low cost and high impact here in the competition. So there's a lot to learn from them also that we can pick it up, because eco-friendly and how you can be techno-ready along with being eco-friendly is something that we all are learning from all the participants over here. And the participants are themselves taking a lot of points to be kept in mind here from their opponents, from the people who are coming here. And overall, it's not over here. Even finals are done, we would have the final winners in a short while from now, but the game will not get over here, because ultimately the final winners will be representing their country, their university, their state at an international level. So it remains to be seen how it shapes up. But for now, Siddharth, this is coming out to be a very wholesome experience for the participant.
I'm sure. Thank you so much for your analysis, Deepika. On July 14, 2023, a year ago on this day, India scripted history with ISRO launching the Chandrayaan-3 successfully. India left its footprints on the moon for the first time ever by touching down on the moon's south pole surface, as the proud nation watched the countdown with bated breath. DD India's senior consulting editor Sakal Bhatt gets us this report.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
14 July 2023, this date marks India's successful soft landing near the moon's south pole. Moment of national pride, establishing the country as the first one to achieve this remarkable feat. The feat of landing a spacecraft in such proximity to the lunar south pole. Chandrayaan-3 is India's third lunar mission and second attempt at achieving soft landing on the moon's surface. On July 14, 2023 at 2:35 p.m., Chandrayaan-3 took off from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. The spacecraft seamlessly entered lunar orbit on August 5, 2023. The historic moment unfolded when the lander made a successful touchdown near the lunar south pole on August 23, 2023, demonstrating safe and soft landing on lunar surface, also demonstrating rover roving on moon and to conduct in situ scientific experiments. Chandrayaan-3 is a three-component mission consisting of propulsion module, lander module and rover module. Propulsion module carried the lander and rover configuration till 100-kilometer lunar orbit. Lander module, or Vikram, is carrying scientific payload that includes a suite of instruments to study the lunar surface and atmosphere. The rover module, or Pragyan, is carrying a suite of instruments to study the lunar surface and subsurface, which includes alpha particle X-ray spectrometers and laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, or LIBS, for deriving the elemental composition in the vicinity of the landing site. Successful launch of Chandrayaan-3 resulted in major findings of the mission. Chandra's surface thermophysical experiment measured temperatures reaching 70 degrees Celsius. This surprised scientists who expected temperatures between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Lunar surface elements confirmed. The laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy instrument on board Pragyan rover confirmed the presence of sulfur on the lunar surface near the South Pole. Elements such as aluminium, calcium, iron, chromium, titanium, manganese, silicon and oxygen were also detected. So why is Chandrayaan-3 significant for the Indian space program? Multiple reasons to the credit. It makes India part of the elite group of nations, Russia, the United States and China, with demonstrated lunar soft landing capability. India's indigenous cryogenic engines and efforts to declutter the orbit showcases its leadership in space technology, including positioning India as a global hub in the new space economy. The investigation of lunar properties has also been an important dimension of the findings of Chandrayaan-3 mission. Propulsion module studies Earth's atmosphere, lander module investigates lunar surface properties, and rover module analyzes lunar rocks and soil. Soft landing capability contributes valuable insights to India's missile defense program. The reusable launch vehicle technology derived from the mission aids in cost reduction for future launches. Autonomous rovers developed from rover module find applications in disaster management and infrastructure monitoring. Finally, in space tourism and economic activities as well, there has been increasing interest in space tourism. India's groundbreaking mission Chandrayaan-3 uncovered Moon's long-guarded secret while setting the tone for India's mega space movement, where sky and beyond is the limit.
23 अगस्त को जब भारत ने चंद्रमा पर तिरंगा फहराया, उस दिन को अब हिंदुस्तान नेशनल स्पेस डे के रूप में मनाया जाएगा.
Sakal Bhatt's report for DD India.
All right, let's take a look at other stories making news in India. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and his two deputies Brijesh Pathak and Keshav Prasad Maurya and other party leaders attend the Bharatiya Janata Party State Working Committee meeting in Lucknow. This working committee meeting will be divided into two sessions, ending with the passage of a political proposal. The flood situation in Assam is improving day by day as population affected comes down to 8.4 lakh. 2 persons lost his life on Saturday, taking the death toll up to 91 this year. Brahmaputra River in some major areas and 3 other rivers are flowing above danger mark. More than 1,700 villages in 21 districts are reeling under the deluge. The National Weather Forecasting Centre IMD has forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall with fairly widespread over Konkan, Goa and Madhya Maharashtra from 14th of July to 17th of July 2024. IMD issued a red alert to Satara, Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri and Thane of Maharashtra on Sunday. You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for sport. The stage has been set for the grand final of Euro 2024. England will take on Spain in the summit clash at Berlin's Olympic Stadium. With plenty at stake, this is the third meeting between both sides at the Euros, with England winning 2-1 in 1980 group stage and then once again clinching a penalty shootout win in 1996 quarter-final. Here's the journey of the England team in the Euro 2024.
After 28 days of drama and more than 80 hours of football, 24 teams have been filtered down to 2. There is only one more game to play. Spain and England prepare for battle at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin on Sunday, meeting for the first time since 2018 to fight for the European Championship title. England were not at their free-flowing best in the Group C but still topped their section and remain unbeaten. Glimpses of the genius that can be produced by forwards such as Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane and Phil Foden were clear in all 3 games. Bellingham's overhead kick forced extra time in the round of 16 win against Slovakia before Kane headed the winner, while they also came from behind against Switzerland thanks to Bukayo Saka's equalizer before triumphing on penalties, converting all 5 spot kicks. In the semi-finals, Ollie Watkins' last-gasp strike completed England's comeback win against Netherlands, taking the Three Lions into their second consecutive Euro final. Here, let's take a look at the journey of the English football team in the Euro 2024. England, Group C winners, defeated Serbia 1-0 in Glasgow on 16 June, 1-1 draw against Denmark in Frankfurt on 20th June, goalless draw against Slovenia in Cologne on 25th June. In round of 16, England defeated Slovakia 2-1 in added extra time. In quarterfinals, England defeated Switzerland 5-3 on penalties after 1-1 draw in extra added time. In semi-finals, England defeated Netherlands 2-1 in Dortmund on 10th July. Now in the final of the Euro 2024, England will take on Spain in Berlin on 15th of July. Sports Desk, DD India.
All right, and my colleague Narayan Singh joins us from the newsroom. Hello Narayan, England versus Spain. This encounter is unbelievable. One team will try to win 58-year-old weight and the other team will try to just win it. How do you analyze this particular encounter which is going to take place?
Siddharth, we can say that it's a big night for the footballing fans all over the world, considering the fact that Spain, first time we can say that they have already a good record in the Euro, and it will be their fourth title if they win tonight. And if we talk about England, they never won the Euro title. And it's the clash of two different footballing philosophies tonight. And we know that what kind of football Spain has played throughout the tournament. First time we can say that they have the 100% record in the tournament. They won each and every single match. If you take a look at their campaign in the group stage, they were drawn in the group of the death, where Italy and Croatia were also there, the tough teams of the European football. And after that, they defeated the teams like Germany and France, and their match against France was one of the best match of the tournament. And if you talk about England, they were spluttered, and they were, we can say that at the various moment of the tournament, it looked like that they were at the brink of the elimination, and they made the last moment comebacks throughout the tournament. So all in all, we can say that here it will be a deciding factor how the two countries play. One thing England can do, that they can make, if they can make the Spanish football team comfortable in the first half, definitely it will be very crucial for them, because we know the possessing football, the tiki-taka they play, once they comes in the groove, definitely it's become difficult for any team to control them. So a lot will depend on Phil Foden, Harry Kane and Declan Rice, how they just associate the Yamal and the Nico Williams.
Narayan, can you tell us regarding the players to watch out from both the teams?
Siddharth, if you take a look at the way, if you talk about the Spanish football team, we know that the way Lamine Yamal in the right flank and the way Nico Williams on the left flank has done an extraordinary job for this Spanish team, and we know that they are the wonder kids of the footballing world. And in the midfield, the way Rodri has operated, we can say that he is the key source of the feeder. He is the key feeder for the Spanish team. And back today, we will see that the Dani Carvajal will be there again after the suspension in the previous match. So all in all, Nico Williams and Yamal, the kind of football they are playing will be in spotlight and tonight. And if we talk about England, the way Harry Kane, we can say that today he can do miracle. He scored the goals in the tournament, but he was not looking in the touch. But the Real Madrid star Jude Bellingham can play a crucial role along with Phil Foden. And in the back, we can say that England had Luke Shaw, and the way he has played with Kyle Walker, definitely this player will be, we can see that will be in spotlight tonight, and they will be a key factor which team will win this coveted tournament.
Okay, definitely all eyes will be focused on television screens when these two teams will play against each other. How are you planning to see this encounter, Narayan?
Definitely, the way we can say that one team is very young, Spain, they have the 16-year, and today only he has turned 17. Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams is too young. And if you take a look, their midfield, Gavi and we can say Pedri, they are also young. But in the back of, they have some experience here in the defensive lineup. So all in all, a mix of the, we can say the experience and youth. But here, England is looking more experienced team, and we know that at the, we can say that epitome of any tournament at the higher stage, experience counts a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Narayan, for that analysis. And defending champion Carlos Alcaraz and 7-time champion Novak Djokovic will lock horns for Wimbledon title on Sunday. The summit clash promises to a fitting climax to last year's title blockbuster, where Alcaraz overcame Djokovic in 5 sets. Djokovic will have history to write with a record 25th Grand Slam title. Alcaraz, bidding for a 4th Grand Slam title, will need to avoid the wobbles that have seen him drop sets in every match from the 3rd round onwards. It will be first Wimbledon repeat final since Djokovic met Roger Federer in 2014 and 2015 title matches. And Argentina will battle for a record-breaking 16th Copa America title when they face Colombia and Florida today. A victory would take the defending champions Argentina past Uruguay as the most successful team in tournament's history. Argentina are on the cusp of a historic treble as they have already secured the Copa America in 2021 and the World Cup in 2022. The only comparable achievement in international football is Spain's back-to-back European Championships in 2008 and 2012 and a World Cup victory in 2010. Colombia, on the other hand, hope to clinch their first Copa America title in 23 years. Their only title came in 2001 when they were the hosts. The Olympic torch on Sunday made a special appearance at Paris's traditional Bastille Day parade in Paris before the flame tours around the French capital for the torch relay. The torch was carried by soldier and Olympic gold medalist in riding, Colonel Thibaut, on horseback. Dozens of youth volunteers sporting the Olympic colors paraded with him, and he passed on the flame to a young man in front of French President Emmanuel Macron and top government officials. The Olympic torch is set to visit Paris's famous landmarks throughout Sunday and Monday during the relay. Only a few days are left for Paris Olympics. A marathon was held in New Delhi to spread awareness about the mega event. India's Textile Minister Giriraj Singh flagged off the Bharat in Paris Olympic Marathon to create awareness about the recreational sport. Thousands of runners took part in the run. The minister extended his best wishes to the Indian athletes competing at the Olympics. A total of 118 Indian athletes across 16 sports disciplines will participate in the Paris Olympics. Copa America fever took hold of Miami. Both Argentina and Colombia have huge local support, with South Florida boasting some of the largest Argentine and Colombian communities in the United States. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.